volunteers prepare to race onto the field. Everything is riding on this football game. So there's a special intensity, a special urgency. Here come the volunteers. Wherever you listen throughout the world, it's football time in Tennessee.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley, and it is officially Florida week. It is Gator Hater week, and Tennessee is going to have their hands full this Saturday night, going down to Gainesville, making that trip. You know, the Indy kid dropped the video yesterday, the day after, and he kind of talked a little bit about this game, talked about how Tennessee is going to get punched in the mouth on Saturday. How do they respond once they are in that fight? The spread is out. It should come as no surprise. Tennessee is a big underdog. We're going to get into that and kind of take a look at it. But, you know, it's one of those deals where every single year it seems like some people in this fan base kind of get a false sense of hope. And it's well, Tennessee's down this year, or Florida's down this year. Tennessee's going to have a chance. Florida lost a lot of talent. Tennessee's going to have a chance. Tennessee has beaten Florida one time since 2005. So I kind of come from the school of Brent Hubbs, where I have to see it to believe it. And Florida did lose a lot of talent, but they also replaced that talent. We saw just this past weekend, they went toe-to-toe with the best team in college football. So Tennessee is going to have their hands full. We'll take a look at that. Usually I do the scouting report on Monday. I want to get a little bit more, few more notes together. I may drop that tomorrow morning, maybe this evening. We'll see how time works out. But like I said, Tennessee is a big underdog. We're going to take a look at that here in just a second. You guys want to get an advantage over your sports book, you need to head over to the App Store or the Google Play Store. Download BetQL, the only app you need to make smart bets. Their computer model scans over 350,000 unique bets per year to give you the best bet recommendation for every game across all major sports. Also gives you the reasoning behind why you should place that bet. Their model covers everything from spreads to over-unders and player prop bets. But I know how some of you guys are. You don't always listen. You want to play armchair quarterback, and that's fine. If you want to do the work yourself, BetQL has all the necessary tools for your research needs. Sharp data so you can see who the pros are backing, line movements, you can jump on betting opportunities in real time. They've also got great team summaries highlighting previous success against the spread and the over-under. So go to try.betql.co/Vols to get started now. Going to drop all the links in the description below, but if you use that promo code VOLS at checkout, you're going to save 25% on all subscription offerings. They also have a deal where you can get an entire year of BetQL for free. So jump in the description below. Check that out, BetQL. So let's take a look at this article here from 24/7 Sports, written by Grant Ramey. Number 11, Florida opens as double-digit favorite against Tennessee. It says Tennessee will go on the road for the first time this season as a 16.5-point underdog. And I know some people seem kind of surprised by that. I don't know that it really catches me off guard. I think that's probably, we say it all the time, Vegas didn't get built on winners. It is what it is. The game scheduled for 7 p.m. Eastern time kickoff, televised by ESPN. Just a quick plug reminder there, we will be live for a tailgate show. So we'll go live around 6 o'clock, hang out with you guys for 45 minutes or so, and then we'll be live for the post game. So make sure, number one, click that thumbs up below the video. Make sure you're subscribed. Click that bell for notifications, but we will be live tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern time, and then also Saturday before and after the game. The article goes on to say the Gators lost 31-29 to Alabama at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium in Gainesville on Saturday, falling behind 21-3 early in the game before nearly erasing the deficit. That's a team that didn't quit. That's a team that could have rolled over and played dead against the number one team in college football, but they fought to the end. They gave Alabama all they wanted and more. I would say a lot of us Tennessee fans watched that game and lost a whole lot of confidence. If you have any type of confidence that Tennessee was going to go down to Florida and win or even compete, that game Saturday against Alabama probably changed that just a little bit. It says the Vols got back in the win column with a 56-0 shutout of Tennessee Tech at Neyland Stadium, bouncing back from the 41-34 loss to Pitt last week in Knoxville. Says Tennessee opened the season with 3 straight home game wins, starting with Bowling Green on home games, starting with Bowling Green on September the 2nd. Redshirt junior Joe Milton, who started the first 2 games at quarterback, didn't play against Tennessee Tech after leaving the Pitt game in the first half with a leg injury. Goes on here to say that Hooker started in Milton's place on Saturday, went 17 of 25 for 199 yards and 3 touchdowns, also led the Vols on the ground, running 9 times for 64 yards and another score. Let's take a look at this quote here from Josh Heupel. Said Milton had some opportunities to work with us during the middle part of the week. At the end of the week, didn't feel like he may be ready. I think the next couple of days will be big in his rehab. We'll see where he's at when we get back on the field on Tuesday. I really wonder. I wonder if Joe Milton, if they had been playing Florida last week instead of Tennessee Tech, I wonder if Joe Milton gives it a go. A lot of guys were out for that Tennessee Tech game. And again, I think if it's a conference game, I think you see them on the field. I think Cooper Mays was pretty close, but you don't risk that against Tennessee Tech. And that's why Tennessee Tech, that game came at a good time. You could get some young guys some reps. You could let guys heal up and get ready for the Florida game. But it's going to be interesting to see what Josh Heupel does with those quarterbacks this weekend. Do you go with a guy like Hendon Hooker? I feel like with Hendon Hooker in the game, it gets a little bit more conservative. You get a little bit more accuracy, but both guys are going to have to protect the football. It was nice to see Tennessee's defense go out, force some turnovers against Tennessee Tech, but they are going to have to protect the football on offense. You cannot turn it over against Florida and think you're going to be around late in that game with a chance to compete. But I wonder if Joe Milton is healthy, if that's who Josh Heupel is going to roll out there. Because there's never been a conversation about Joe Milton losing the job or Hendon Hooker winning the job. It's all been about Milton being banged up. So say what you want about the quarterbacks, who you're for, who you're against. I feel like the offense runs smoother under Joe Milton, but clearly Hendon Hooker's a little bit more accurate. Excuse me. They don't take as many deep shots, it seems, with Hooker. Joe Milton's just got to find a way. I wanted to see what Joe Milton needed another opportunity against Tennessee Tech to try to get it dialed in. So we'll see what Josh Heupel decides to do. I could see it going either way as far as who he starts. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. If Joe Milton's healthy, do you think he trots him out there, or do you think he goes with Hendon Hooker because he's the guy that's practiced the last 2 weeks? Hendon Hooker took the majority of the first team reps last week getting ready for that Tennessee Tech game. Article goes on to talk about Jalen Wright was the most productive running back for the Vols against Tennessee Tech, rushing 9 times for 43 yards and a touchdown, ahead of 15 carries for 41 yards and a score from Tyon Evans. The running game has got to get better. It has to get better. And don't misunderstand what I'm saying when I talk about Cooper Mays being out. That is no excuse for the lack of run game against Tennessee Tech. All that is stating is that this offensive line is going to get better when Cooper Mays is back in the game. But there is no excuse for the struggles that they had running the football against Tennessee Tech. And you're going to have a whole lot more talent out there against Florida this coming Saturday. You know, look at the Pitt game. Perfect example. Tennessee ran the ball well against Bowling Green, who had the worst running defense in the country last season. Since then, they've struggled to run the football. It's been more about what Joe Milton did with his feet or what Hendon Hooker has done with his feet instead of the running backs. And yeah, I know Jabari Small obviously banged up. Tyon Evans missed last week against Pitt. I get it. But there is no excuse for the lack of running game against Pitt. It's a huge concern, not just in this Florida game, but moving forward throughout conference play. Ben Jones Jr., Javonte Payton combined for 6 catches for 111 yards and 2 touchdowns. Tennessee finished with 417 yards of total offense on 79 plays, passing for 215, running for 202. Again, majority of those running yards came off of Hendon Hooker. Another quote from Josh Heupel: our pace is nowhere near where it's capable of being. It's the guy that's got the ball in his hands being more efficient with it. It's the offensive line. It's the quarterback too. It's just part of us playing a lot cleaner. That's not the only thing. There are a lot of things. Just have to continue to grow and demand a lot of ourselves and the next guy to us on the offensive side of the ball to play at a higher level we are capable of playing. Florida starting quarterback Emory Jones went 18-28, 195 yards, intercepted once. He ran the ball 19 times for 77 yards and a touchdown. I'll talk more about the Gators during the scouting report. But Heupel says here, obviously the level of competition is going to step up next week. Our players are excited about that opportunity. Big challenge for us as a program, but we've got to make some strides in the next week. Yeah, Tennessee's going to have their hands full. And I just want to see them go down there and compete. 16.5-point dogs. Go down to Gainesville and compete. I know Indy Kid took a lot of heat after that Pitt game for saying he doesn't care about effort. All he cares about is wins and losses. Agree, disagree. I don't know if you get where he's coming from or what he's trying to say. Obviously, he kind of came back and said effort does matter. Effort is how you win ball games. But in a game like Pitt, it's how that game plays out. We have to look at how the game plays out. Tennessee had every opportunity to win that game. But Saturday against Florida, I just want to see them go down there and compete. Like we said, they're going to get punched in the mouth. How do they respond to that? How does this quarterback situation play out? You guys know the deal. Drop into the comments. Let me know. Who do you think Josh Heupel starts at quarterback? Who would you start at quarterback this week? Joe Milton, who sat out last week? Or would you go with Hendon Hooker, the guy that Hendon Hooker seems to be more consistent, but not as much of a threat. And that's why I'm kind of stuck in the middle, because when I see Joe Milton, it seems like it opens up the entire offense. But when he's unable to connect on the deep ball, it destroys all of it. It doesn't matter if the offense is opened up, if he can't connect on the deep ball. So do you go with the bigger upside, or do you go with the guy that's a little bit more consistent? But that's going to wrap it up for this video. Make sure you're dialed in, subscribe to all that good stuff. Hit that thumbs up. We're going to be dropping tons of content this week. Scouting report's going to be coming your way soon. We will be live again Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And then also Saturday before and after the game. But that's going to wrap it up for this one. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.